myself doing my early morning brain dump. Um, so, one of the things I wrote down this morning is the word integrity. Now, if you've taken my magic word class, you know there is a process that I go through when trying to define or redefine a word. So, currently, my current definition of integrity is being what how should I say? Okay. So integrity to me right now means basically that you are honest in your dealings when whether you are honest with your dealings, whether you are in my presence or if you are not in my presence, right? So in with integrity, I trust that you are going to hold our agreement in place, whether you are in front of me or not, right? You know how people say, yes, it's great what you do in front of me, but what's even more important is what you do behind my back, right? What you say behind my back. Do you hold integrity when you are not in front of me, when you are not around? In other words, do you smile in my face, but then on the back end, are you really against me, right? There's a word that I studied quite some time ago. Um, and I actually had gotten this tattoo a long time ago. So I'm just going to share this with you guys because I feel like the word perfect and the word integrity, they are not synonymous to a degree, but I feel like they are um, like sisters, cousins, brothers, whatever, however you want to say it. So I don't even know if y'all will be able to see it. I got this tattoo quite some time ago, and it says perfectly flawed, love me anyway. So, story time, quick story. So, people, before I understood my intuitiveness, before I understood that I had the ability to discern past, present, and future for certain people and situations, I would say things and people would say, you're wrong, you're not right, and you just think you're perfect, just perfect little Tina, you never make any mistakes. I went out of my way back then. This is how you learn from your mistakes. I went out of my way back then to prove to people that I was not perfect, right? Back then, my definition of the word perfect was without flaw, right? And I still hear people say it today, and it kind of makes me sad, right? They'll say, I'm not perfect. But yet, why is it that things and situations can be perfect, but people cannot, right? There's a such thing as perfection. Things and situations can be perfection, but people cannot. And I know you're thinking, where are you going with this with the integrity, Tina? Give me a second. When I was going through my healing journey back in 2015, right? Um, I was praying to God that I wanted Him to show me what it meant to be perfect. Old definition, without flaw. Because I wanted to stay in the marriage that I was in then. And I felt as though if I was the perfect wife, if I was the without any flaws or fault wife that my then husband would keep me. So I started praying and asking God, and then it came to me. God was like, you know what you need to do? You need to look up the word perfect. You need to look it up, like actually look it up. So I looked up the word perfect, right? This is after I had gotten my tattoo. I looked up the word perfect because I spent half my life proving to people that I am just as flawed as they are. I have just as many faults as they do. But even though I was telling them things and they were coming back later, remember when you told me this? And, right? People don't like to hear things they're not ready for. I'm going to say that. People don't like to hear things they're not ready for. And that includes me sometimes. But if you tell somebody something that they're not ready for, they think you are judging them. They think that you are criticizing them. They feel like you are attacking them, even when that is not the case, right? You're just providing information. And they are in a place that they are not wanting to accept. So they lash back because there's probably a part of what you're saying that is hitting them in the chest and they know that it's right. So the first thing they say is, well, you're not perfect. You're not right. You think you're always right. Right? These are experiences that I had. So one day, God's like, look, why don't you just look it up? Look it up. Just look it up. See what pops up. So I go to Google. Wonderful Google. I don't know what it is now, but back then when you looked up Google, it said perfect. And of course, you've got several different definitions. People, I want you to know it's okay for you to create whatever definition resonates for you. It's okay to change the definition. Let's not be ridiculous, but change it to something that you can resonate with. And people tell me you can't do that. Yes, you can, because that's why you have Webster. That's why you have Google. That's why you have Bing. That's why you have Macmillan. That's why you have all these different dictionaries, because it resonated differently with people. That's why there's no just one meaning, right? They may be similar, they may be close, they may be completely different. But stand true to what you believe. So I go to Google and I look up the word perfect. And it just means as good as possible, right? Now, if you think about when people use the current definition, which the majority of the world is using, and they use it to belittle their self or use it to belittle the situation. I'm not perfect. But turn right back around, look at a freaking sandwich, and say, oh my God, this thing is perfect. They'll look at a beautiful wedding and say, this is perfect. They'll take a look at a little baby and say, oh my God, my baby is so perfect. All of a sudden, the dual meaning definition is just gone, right? It's gone. They're not saying, oh, my baby has flaws. Oh, this wedding has flaws. Like, no one can be perfect. No wedding can be perfect. No baby can be perfect, right? All of a sudden, that word perfect turns to without flaw. It is amazing to me that everything can be perfect except for you. If you are a person, to me, when I looked up Google, it said as good as possible. Right? If you are doing as good as possible, then you are perfect. You are perfect in that moment. People like to take things and go above and beyond and go extreme for whatever fucking reason you want to do that. Look, I say I'm perfect. Are all of my days perfect? Yes, to the best of my ability. Am I perfect? Yes, I am. I am perfect. I am doing as good as possible. I am doing good as possible. I am perfect. What is perfection? Perfection. The cake is to perfection. That dress is to perfection. As a person, you can never achieve perfection. You can never achieve being without flaw. Why? Why are you doing this to yourself? Why are you sending yourself in this spiral, right? Let's go to the word integrity, right? I had to get my other phone because I had to send myself the screenshot. I went to the Webster Dictionary, which is one of my best friends. Shout out to Webster. Take my glasses off so that I can read it. Integrity, wholeness, entireness, unbroken state. Isn't that interesting? How is it that the word perfect to you means flawed, but then you'll backdoor and say you have integrity, which is a unbroken state? Let's just stay with me. Next definition. The entire unimpaired state of anything, particularly of the mind, moral soundness or purity, incorruptness, uprightness, honesty. Integrity comprehends the whole moral character, but has a special reference to uprightness in mutual dealings, transfers of property, and agencies for other. The moral grandeur of independent integrity is the sublimest thing in nature. Okay, so purity, genuine, unadulterated, unimpaired state as the integrity of language. When you are thinking about integrity, you should be thinking about a pure state. You should be thinking about feeling whole, feeling entireness. You should feel honesty and uprightness. Okay. If you have integrity, that means that you have the ability to be honest. You have the ability to not be a person that provides betrayal. Right? I'm going to keep tweaking this definition of integrity for myself, but because it is my current definition is not, let me say, my current definition is not bad, but it can be tweaked. Because when I think of integrity, just like some of these, I think of an unimpaired state. I think of, what is the word that I'm looking for? Discernment. I feel like integrity is what you do when you are not in my presence at this moment. You have to have a certain state of honesty as well. If in my face you're smiling, you're happy, and oh, Tina, I love me some Tina. She's my friend. And then you go behind my back and then you say, I really don't like that, Tina. Let me tell you some things, right? You're not holding the integrity. You are not being honest with me. That's what holding integrity. When I ask you, can you hold integrity? It means, can you hold my trust? Right? Can you hold my trust? So I'm going to be working on this word, and I want you to work on this word. The word perfect to me means as good as possible. I want you to stop affirming for yourself, I am not perfect, right? And if you feel like you must continue to do that, I want you to remember this. You are what you say you are. And if you say you are not perfect and you have the definition in your head that I am flawed, you're using it to punish yourself. And by punishing yourself, you're punishing others, because now others have to watch you suffer fighting against the battle of perfection, trying to be without flaw. And the fact of the matter is, when it comes to these life experiences, you are definitely going to make mistakes. Now, because of my new definition, my new tattoo, perfectly flawed, love me anyway. It means as good as possible being flawed, but love me anyway. Right? Is my little joke. But deep down, I know it doesn't mean that. But when people see this tattoo, I'm like, maybe they got it. Maybe I got it for a reason, because people see it and they like, oh man, I can relate. And then I immediately tell them, I have changed my definition. And now my definition means as good as possible. So it means I'm good as possible as being flawed. And we kind of laugh. And I said, but to me, it just means I learn from my mistakes. That's all it means, right? That's all it means, is I've learned from my mistakes. Are you learning from your mistakes? And I want you to think about it. Are you thinking that only things and situations can be perfect and not people? Why are you making a choice to punish yourself by creating a level that you will never be able to achieve? Are you using it to inspire yourself, or are you using it to punish yourself? Are you overdoing it? Are you overthinking it? Are you having integrity? Are you being honest with yourself? Are you holding your standards and rules in place when nobody is around? That's my brain dump on this word today. Also on the word perfect. Please stop punishing yourself. Please stop punishing yourself. I love you guys. Be awesome, be amazing, be great. Mwah! Bookwithtina.com. Thanks for listening to my moment while I process. Love you.